Hello world, my name is Nick360 and welcome to Prison Architect Alpha 33. Now, in the last episode we built this basic prison and has the most basic facilities except for one important set of facilities, and that is the prison cells. And as many have mentioned in the last episode, we have 3 prisoners and we have no cells for them. We have this holding cell, but prisoners don't like, they won't have any privacy since they're in the holding cell. And obviously that makes sense. They're all going to be together, and they don't like that. They like to have their own cells. Now, Alpha 33 just came out, and the last episode was technically Alpha 32. But it doesn't matter, because nothing that I said so far about building the basic prison changed. But in this alpha, they changed how cells work. So I'm going to teach you how to use these new cells. Alright, so first, let's make a plan. So I'm going to continue this walkway idea. I'm going to extend this pathway, so this is where the path's going to be here. And there's going to be a building off of this end here. And so a basic cell, for the longest time, looked like this. And so I like putting 2 of them like this. Because if you go up to rooms and go to cell, you can see it's 2x3, has been closed, indoors, bed, and toilet. And there is no reason why you shouldn't ever, for the longest time, all the cells just looked like that. That's just how they were. But now, we're going to add some not new types of cells, but adding more to the cell will actually increase the cell's quality. So, right now we're going to have 8 prisoners. So, we'll leave this one be extra big. And I'm going to delete this room for the doors. We're going to leave one extra big. And this is 8, but I wanted room for a shower. I like having a shower block in the cells. And so you don't have to, what I would do is I would extend this out a little bit more. And then I would put, maybe something like this. And then put a shower right here. And so that would be plenty of room for the prisoners to, when they get up in the morning, they go and they take the shower, and then they can come back in their cells. And that's what I like to do. And then to change the schedule, right here, you can click, and you can change the schedule. And we're going to just do this very quickly. What I like to do, I'm just going to clear everything, which is lockup. So you just click on them, and whichever one you've selected, it will replace it. If you have multiple different security levels, you can change the schedule for one of the securities, but not the other. And just click this X if you want all of them to be in the same schedule, which we do for now, but later on it's a nice idea to change it. So right now it's all blank. I like to have them in the shower. It's in the morning to get up. That's good. Then, so they're going to be, shower's going to be first thing to get up, and they're going back to lockup. This gives them a chance to use the restroom. Then they're going to eat, and I like to give them 2 hours to eat. Then we're going to go straight to yard, and then free time for an hour, then work. And now we don't have any work currently available in a prison, but if you leave it work in, even though that we don't have anything to work for, they'll just be in free time. All the prisoners that don't have a job available just be in free time. So it's a good idea to put work in right away, because there's other things that aren't technically work but need to be done during work hours. Then give them a free time, let them cool off. Eat, yard, free time. And you could do sleep up to the rest of this. I just like leaving it locked down because if they want to stay up a little late, that can, as long as they're in their cell, that's okay. So we're going to need to move. This is our plan for the cell block, and one of them is going to be extra big, and this is done intentionally. We're just going to show off a new feature in the most recent alpha. So just going to take this fence, and we're going to move it right there. We're going to move it around to make room for the cell block. And then as soon as that's finished, we can delete this fence and start building this building. But while we're waiting for that, if you're following this tutorial from the beginning, there's a couple things that we want to finish up. Now that our warden has an office, we're going to want to start to do some research. So we're going to do some finance. Psychology is also really good. Early on, I'm going to do finance because I'm going to get a grant and that's going to give us money. Psychology, if you're new, then security, and then maintenance. I have lots of money right now. That's kind of the order I do if you're a new player. Finance just for the money, and then psychology so we can see what needs need to be met. and that way we can change your schedule to meet the needs. So for example, you can see their need. You can't see their needs, but right there would be a tab right here that would show you the needs of each of the prisoners. And so we'll look at that more in depth in a later episode. Next, I'm going to go, since I have one grant available, I'm going to go and do visitation rights. And then let's look at our to-do list. We need to build a common room, pool table, at least 2 TVs, and 5 phone booths. Now, this does bring up something that one of the needs for the prison is kind of recreation, so having some free time, and that's what the yard's supposed to be for. But right now there's nothing in the yard, so it isn't really serving its purpose. So we're going to go to objects, and we're going to fill the yard with a bunch of objects. And some big objects are some phone booths. This lets them call home, and that they really appreciate that. And they can call their friends. You want some workout benches so they can exercise. That meets their exercise requirement. We'll put a pool table so we can get the we'll get one of the grants. We'll put in the we'll make this the common room. It's through the shower and it's right inside of solitary. We'll make this a common room, and then we'll put some sofas there. And you want to put chairs in your common room, or chairs are these single sofas. So, and then there's a new item in the most recent one called the radio, so you can listen to music. So then we're going to go to rooms and common room. Now this is a common room. Now if we go to our to-do list, oh, we need to build 5 phone booths. So we're going to need to build some more phone booths. 1, 2, we'll just put some right here. Right there. So now our yard has plenty of phone booths, a pool table, so a place to exercise. So our yard is now up to snuff. We have a common room, and it has all the stuff in it, and then we got the grant for that. Alright, so now let's delete this fence here. We delete fence by demolishing walls. Right there. Now this worker was trapped, but now that I demolished the walls, he can clear his way out. Sometimes you may need the help of another worker to do that. Right now we cleared up the room for our building, so let's just build a building. It's going to be a brick building. There we go. And then the entrance is going to be here. So this is going to be the hallway they'll go through. So then let's just put in, I'm just going to put a regular door in. Door. It's right there. Door. There we go. So this is going to be our cell block. And this is going to have room for 8 prisoners. And so right now we have 3 prisoners and we have 5 more coming. So when this cell block is built, there should be room for our 5 prisoners. Then we can turn off intake for a while we figure out the rest of the systems. In general though, the more prisoners you have, the more money you earn. And you can go and see this in finances if we had an accountant to prepare the report. We can't hire an accountant because our warden hasn't finished researching finance. Now if we go and click here, you can see that it's researching maintenance and we're about to get maintenance. Though I did click finance, then psychology, then security, then maintenance, it decided to do maintenance first. So you may want to not go click all 4 of them like I did. Instead, just do finance first so you can see your money and see what's going on. We're going to need some electricity in here. So let's continue this electricity. We'll send it up through these cells here. And then we're going to get some water. Send the water through. I don't like having the big pipes go through the buildings. I think I've said why. And then we're going to put these small pipes in advance. Then we have to remember that the toilets go, each cell needs a toilet. So we're going to make sure it's on this wall. So it can't be on the outer wall, it has to be on the inner wall. And then we're going to put showers in here. So let's preemptively put these pipes in for the showers. And that's it for utilities. Now we could put the walls and this the cell doors in, but I find it's easier for a workman to get in and around if they don't have to go through the walls. So I like just doing all the toilets first. And see, it's a good thing to have the plan because then you can see what you're going to be doing. Okay, so I'm going to be putting toilets on all these inner walls. There we go. And then we're going to need a bed. So I like to put in the bed here. There we go. And I just like having the bed so that the door is right here. And I like, if the guard's walking by, I like to have the bed right by the door so the guard can look in and see the bed. And I don't think it actually has a major effect in the game, but there is fog of war. So we did leave that on. What that fog of war is, if I hadn't explained it, is that you can't see anything unless there's a guard or a workman nearby. So this holding cell, the door is closed, we can't see inside, so it's all gray out. Our 3 prisoners are in there, so if I go and click a guard who's just standing around not doing anything, I right click him and then left click move, boom, we can see inside. We see our 3 prisoners are in there. So that's fog of war, and we left that on purpose just so we could have to deal with that. And there's ways to manage that. There's going to be security cameras in the future, and they're pretty self-explanatory. You just put the security camera in, but we'll get to that in a later episode. All right, we got our beds and toilets in. Now we got to put the walls in with materials. So just fill out our plan. So we're gonna have these 2 big cells, and they're much bigger than the rest of the cells, and that actually is going to have an effect. Up into Alpha 32, having the cells bigger would not have an effect, but now they will. And then once the walls are in place, we just put the cell doors in, and they'll be all our cell block will be done. And our new prisoners are going to be coming pretty soon. So let's finish up this. Let's put in the shower here. And we just need the shower. Oops, we're going to drain there, and then the shower heads. You can just click and hold it, and that should be plenty of shower heads for now. Now we need to designate them as cells, so we can go to cells. You do this. It's, again, you don't do the doors, you only do the sections inside. I generally like to just do them like this, individually, but it could be a little faster. Now finally we just need jail doors, and I'm just like using normal jail doors. Alright. Put these jail doors in. And once all these jail doors are in, our cell block will be complete. And there's a couple things I wanted to explain about these cells. So right now we just got some new prisoners, and they're going to be arriving in this truck up at the top here. But up in logistics, there's a bunch of neat tools that you can see. Right now we can't see it, but the bigger cell, since it's bigger, it's a nicer cell. So prisoners who behave themselves get privilege to these nicer cells. And one of the things you can do to improve how nice the cells are, add windows. So you can just add windows to these cells. Now the thing is, you don't want all of them to be the same, because if all of them are the same, then all the prisoners will treat all the cells the same way. They'll all expect all the cells to behave exactly in the same way. But if you have some really poor quality cells, some that are like this very small with no windows and just the bare minimum to get by, and there's a couple cells that have a lot of nice things, like for example, we could put in a bookshelf. And let's say we put in a bookshelf in these. So these are going to be really nice cells because they're going to be bigger, and it's going to have an extra bookshelf. And we could also put in like a TV, and they're going to really like that. And so when you go into logistics, as soon as we get prison labor, we can go and look at that in more detail. But for now, we have one side have windows and the other side won't. So the better prisoners, the ones that behave themselves more, are going to be on this left side, and the ones that tend not to behave themselves are going to be this right side, with the 2 that behave themselves the most should be ending up right here in these 2 very nice cells with the bookshelves. Alright, we have maintenance and security. So that means when we go to staff, we can hire a chief and a foreman. The chief and the foreman are both really important, but not right now, not by comparison to the psychologist. But the chief, ultimately, if you go up to bureaucracy, the chief will allow deployment, which is really good. That's one of the things I'm going to want right away. And we're going to want prison labor, but I'm going to make sure we get psychology and finance first, then prison labor, then deployment. So I'm not going to do anything extra. Alright, and this is our cell block. Here we go. This is all of our prisoners are being fed into the cell block. And it's work time, and they're just hanging out in their cells. Now one of the neat tricks you can do is, there's contraband in this game. If you want to find it, you can search the cell block. And if you click one of the toilets or a bed or just any of the objects inside of the prison, you can choose to destroy that object or dump it or get rid of it. You can search that particular bookshelf. You can search the cell that the bookshelf's in, or all the cells in this block. And we're going to do that. And I like to do that every once in a while, maybe once a day, but not quite. And this is better than the shakedown option. The shakedown will search literally everything in the prison, and it will take you 5 years and 6 hours and 26 minutes. That's a joke, obviously. It'll take you forever though to do shakedown, and the more guards you have, the faster the shakedown. But we searched through all of our cells, and this guy here, he was found with drugs, so he's going to get thrown into solitary, which we have down here. Uh-oh. Someone shouldn't be smuggling... Oh, these two, both of them did. Let's see. This one found drugs. They both were found with drugs. Now they're getting thrown in solitary. Now solitary is even smaller, has no windows, no toilet, and no bed. So solitary is the worst of all of them. So this is actually, well, very good. They're being punished for doing activities that we don't want to. There we go. And now we're finally starting to unlock finance. We're going to just quickly, let's do the psychologist. Now that we have a psychologist, we can look at the prisoner's needs. Now we can go into more depth later about all of this. But the key is, if something's wrong, if something's red or orange, then you're going to want to fix that. You can adjust the schedule, or you can add more facilities to do that. So if they need more family, add some more phone booths. If they need more recreation, give them some more free time. And that's it. Now we have a much more functional prison. It has all the things we need to have the prisoners happier, and they each have their own cells. We're going to go and get some food. But for me, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.